You know me, the fighting freak
Pumpken,
and we're at
Utropeia podcast. Anna Cranberry, Chris Moonjump, and Todd Ogredose. Bill, MrYu video. Saker, aka Dimmsdale.
Brian Hambone Hannah, Jimmy Poop and Louie, Jimmy Poop and Louie, Jimmy Poop. Hey, does Mario Kart exist?
Because I'd like to apologize.
Come step up to the plate and meet your match. It ain't no thing. That was easy.
Hello and welcome to the Spooktropia podcast kit. I am your host, Ken, and it's autumn. It's a nice season. Look, my name's Ken. It's not Paul, but look, Paul is just something that grown-ups invented.
I don't like that one.
Thought that was going anywhere
Going somewhere else.
The reference is a TV spot for Cartoon Network.
Paul is just something that grown-ups invented. There's
We need a link in the description on that one.
I thought since it was autumn and Smash Brothers were coming out, you were going to be Captain Fall Ken.
You know what? God, that's a damn good one. God, Jesus. What an interesting intro after our beautiful, beautiful opener. That was donated, given, wonderfully crafted by DJ Stuck from 2D6. Lovely, wonderful friend.
Must be some kind of great and wonderful person.
I think
If
so.
only they were there, right here and now, so we
I'll
can
reserve
thank
my
them.
judgment until I meet him.
You better.
Good old look of this guy.
Oh, geez, that happened on accident, but I don't care. I'm keeping it in. What an interesting intro. You're listening to the Utropeia podcast, the podcast where we talk about tropes. We are friends. We like to have a couch-style discussion focusing on the fun and entertainment of talking about different tropes in the media. And because we're good friends, let me introduce you to my lovely guests and co-hosts. On my right is Anna Cranberry.
Hey guys, are you ready to talk about some tropes? Woo!
God damn.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to be haunted.
Bill.
MrYu video.
I'm so excited. Boom.
Chris Moonjump.
I'm like a 6.
Aw.
God damn it.
And the call is coming from inside the house. It's Todd Ogredose. No. Get out. No, come back. Come back.
Come back.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
The hype ghost.
And I just get...
And the hype ghost. God, why is he not a member of the Utropia Justice League?
I was about to say he is now.
He's good friends with Skeleporn.
He's a sidekick.
Skeleporn.
Skeleporn and the hype ghost. Yo, dog.
Just
You
every
ready?
time he Skeleporns.
You ready? You ready? You ready? You ready? You ready?
That's tight.
It's gonna happen.
And the Hype Ghost sounds like a DJ morning show. I don't know why.
You're listening to Skeleport and the Hype Ghost. Oh, so horny.
Who's that Hype Ghost playing the little things?
Yeah, you know me. And our next guest and special co-host does not need a Hype Ghost. It is Saker, aka Dimmsdale.
Yeah, 14 to make up for Chris's 5 or 6.
That's it.
He's got possessed.
That's
by
a
hype
natural
ghost.
20.
Oh,
Good job,
thank
guys.
you. Oh boy, I made up for a little bit of Hype Ghost too.
You automatically get a familiar. One Hype Ghost.
Oh, nice.
Put it into your inventory.
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons, everybody. Dungeons and Dragons. Rest in peace,
Bunch
Gary
of
Gygax. Bunch of nerds talking about nerd stuff on a nerd podcast. Gosh.
I'll excuse myself. What the hell is that?
It's the intro to CSI Miami.
Is that the
It was directly that.
I thought we were just getting hyped again.
This is the Beatnik intro for getting hyped. Wow, we're going all sorts of places, just like into a haunted house. But first, let's talk about what we're excited for, / bummed out about.
Seamless.
It's seamless, streamless. You'll never catch us screamless, because in space, no one can hear you. Chris Moonjump, what are you excited for / bummed out about? Thank you.
Yeah. I think I know what we're all excited for this week.
Yep.
Let's be honest. We're gonna get the Smash on.
Pumpkin fall latte.
That's
yeah,
your
Smash
guy.
Smash Bros.
What?
Yeah, I guess that was. Yeah.
We're gonna smash some pumpkin fall lattes and
Yeah,
rubbing up on you?
that name's gonna get redacted in this podcast.
Don't include me. That's our official name.
Don't include me in this. Don't include me in this podcast. I can't wait when she comes
Stop
on.
saying it more.
Every time you say you're just gonna have to bleep it out.
If you say it 3 times in a mirror, she's gonna show up and not want to be on the podcast.
With a pumpkin latte.
We're gonna bleep out pumpkin latte. It's a synonym.
It's a cinnamon pumpkin latte. But yeah, Smash Bros is gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
Mere hours away.
yeah. I was looking up a bunch of stuff for kind of seeing what the character spread has looked like general fan reaction, and from what I have seen from people, pretty much every character is viable in some way.
All right, no one seems too OP
No,
or nerfed or anything.
Bowser
Rob.
apparently is running into some problems, and yeah, Rob apparently is no joke.
Yeah. I mean, this is the metagame always changes after, this is the first week. Yeah, I hear Bowser's OP as well, but I mean, give it a month and somebody will find a technique that makes Yoshi ridiculous or something.
Yeah.
Already
Pooping
on
eggs.
it.
Apparently, Yoshi has a way to teleport within his egg. Somebody found some weird glitch or something, so I'm just saying.
There is also the glitch, have you seen this, of the giant Yoshis?
Oh, yeah, I did see that. That's excellent.
where all of a sudden it's basically if you proceed to use CPU Yoshis and eat them as Yoshi, every time they pop out, they're like 5% larger than previous. And so if you just keep eating them and shooting them out of the eggs, just gradually become like screen encompassing.
Yoshi! Yoshi! Bee-bong! Bee-bong!
Yeah. Just imagine that. It's so like in G major.
But yeah, so for that one, I don't know what you guys are picking for kind of what you're exploring first. I'm totally going for my first love, which is Kirby.
I like that instead of what are you guys excited about, it's going to be which Smash character.
Which one are you going to be? I think I'm going to be Blue Link.
I want to try.
I am Blue Link.
I think I have already posted enough Blue Links to know.
No, I'm Yoshi. I'm always Yoshi.
I don't know. There's so many possibilities.
I'm gonna be Baby Browser.
Baby Browser.
Ooh, I do want to plays
Roy.
Look, if I didn't have to be Blue Link, I would be Roy.
I
used to fight Ken as Roy
From
when you were Link.
From Fire
Melee.
From Fire
Why
Problem.
do I have to specify?
Because
there's
we
two
need to cite our
Roy
sources.
didn't exist in the other
We
one
need to
yet.
be very.
Did you know Peach is a playable character?
Yeah, what's she from?
Super Smash Bros.
The Maltese
Melee?
Falcon?
Wait, what movie was that in?
Cool Runnings 2.
What was her purpose in that movie?
What
don't
is this
know.
genuine
Cool
interest?
Runnings 1.
Everybody got quiet trying to figure it out.
I know, like everyone got hushed. Like,
Everyone should go back and listen to
Well,
past episodes of the
yeah.
Utropeia podcast.
Exactly. From what I understand, apparently it links to a bunch of Dead Knights. Also, I'm Blue Link.
There we go.
Good timing on that, Bill.
No problem.
What's Roy? A lot of people still wanted Roy to be back in. And what's funny is that there's another character named Roy, which is a huge troll. But also, when Roy is doing really well, the new Roy, the crowd chants Roy's our boy, which was the old Roy's
That is-
catchphase,
yeah.
That's
which is
hilarious.
a slap in the face to Roy fans, but I find it hilarious.
Huh?
They might get a lot of Roy rage.
So good.
Depends on how many roints they win by.
I hope his
Oh wait. Just to make up for all the ones that I've missed before.
I hope his big smash is still great pizza.
Yeah, he just says that instead of
Other Roy,
other
not
Roy.
the boy.
Not the boy, but the man that we all wish
The
we could be
man.
inside. Man, Anna Cranberry, what are you
Oh.
excited for / bummed out about this week?
You know, I am excited and bummed out
Excited?
for the DBZ movie Battle of the Gods.
Battle of the Grods.
It was very weird.
Yeah.
It
Big
was
Catman.
really weird, you guys. Yeah, it was weird.
Bulma's just wait. Well, I can't really spoil anything.
Bulma's
Can I?
in the movie.
Yeah, Bulma's in the. Sorry, guys.
Guess what? She's annoying.
I am surprised.
When has Bulma ever been cool?
Bulma was never cool.
Besides being rich.
Well, there's that whole
When
theory
she was super 90s.
that if Goku had never shown up on Earth, that basically Bulma and Capsule Corp would have like conquered Earth. Have you heard this?
No, but
Oh.
it makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, because then other aliens wouldn't have been attracted, and Bulma basically invents time travel and
Oh my god.
all this other stuff. So basically, our Capsule Corp would have ruled the galaxy if Goku.
Would she, though? Because what if she would have got her wish in Dragon Ball? All she wanted was a boyfriend.
She wanted a
And
boyfriend.
you think the
What if she
And
just
then
got the
it's
perfect
Dragon
Ball.
boyfriend and
That
all
was
motivation in
Yamcha.
life was gone?
True.
So she's got this perfect boyfriend. She never invents time travel. Capsule Corp goes out of business when her dad retires.
Wow, that's the darkest timeline.
This is getting weird. But yeah, watch it.
Okay.
Or don't.
Watch Battle of the Grods.
If you hate it, don't.
That's two gorilla grods fighting each other right until the Flash shows
So
up.
many gorillas.
DC Comics would always get an increase in sales whenever they had a gorilla on the front cover, and that's why there's so many gorilla enemies
Does
in the
that still
DCU.
apply?
For real?
'Cause I don't know.
Yeah, listen to Fat Man on Batman episode 2 with Mark Hamill. Actually, he'll talk to you about it. He was the Joker.
You personally.
Yeah, no, just talk to him personally. Just
Just go
just
talk to him.
assault him at an Arby's or something. I don't know.
Why an Arby's?
Why not? Bill,
Where else are you gonna
Mr.
find
Video.
Mark Hamill?
And a Hamill and cheese sandwich. Can
Uh,
I get it? That was easy. Woo!
No.
No, you can't. Apparently.
No, I can't. Bill, MrYu video.
Yes.
Excited.
I don't know. I have like some things that are not like huge, but
Okay.
I've been really enjoying 3ds Max. Like, I don't know if that's like something like impressively excited about, but
it is.
I have not enjoyed a program this much since I started using Illustrator.
What
In
is
the
3ds
pursuit of
Max?
creativity.
What was it? Sacred?
What is 3ds Max?
It's 3D Studio Max. It's a 3D modeling
Oh, I
program.
got it.
So far I've only modeled like a robot arm and not like the cool kind from Generator Rex and a dumpster, but it's a really fun program to use.
Exciting.
It was just I use this thing called Digital Tutors, and their first volume of like introducing you to the idea of block modeling is just a dumpster because it's a big rectangle.
I feel like that's the saddest thing to make first.
Well, I think it leads up to a scene where you're gonna have a character going through an alley.
Okay, but still.
Yeah, no. Hey, I don't know.
I understand
Dumpsters are
entirely the
useful.
practicality, but literally having your first model be a garbage bin.
You know, it's a metaphor for the career you're gonna have after you graduate.
That's when you get Alcoy and say, it looks like garbage.
And into the trash it goes. Whoa.
And the other thing is, I actually got a position on the animation project I've been trying to get
Oh,
on.
nice.
Bueno.
Congratulations.
That's excellent.
Nice.
I'm not actually going to be doing any heavy art stuff. We're just going to be, I'm on the Pitch Bible team, but it's still cool.
That's
Good.
awesome.
Cool, man. Todd.
Yes.
Excited.
Smash Brothers.
Smash
But
Brothers.
we already talked about
Smash
that.
Burgers.
I also found I don't know if I should be excited about this as much as I was. I found out that there is a webcomic that is a sequel to the Super Mario Brothers movie.
What?
I saw you post that on Facebook.
there was a and it's from like a lot of the story was from like the original writers of the Super Mario Brother movie, and people who run like a website just dedicated to the movie. They all got together and they like started scripting and drawing out this comic that's essentially a sequel to the Super Mario Brothers movie. So I was like, I found it and I went, this is kind of awesome. And I got a little more excited about it than I had any right to be. But it's actually really cool. I think it's like smbthecomic.com or something like that. It's just, but it's just like a continuation right after the other movie leaves off. It starts up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of amazing. And that's it.
I didn't read a lot of it, but what I did read, I thought it was cool because they kind of did the first thing they did, or the thing they did with the first movie, which is like they took important things from the Mario universe and kind of twisted them around, like how Bertha was this, huge woman with rocket boots instead of a giant fish. But like Subcon was from Super Mario Brothers 2 US, and it's like some weird organization in the comics.
Yeah, it's like it kind of uses stuff from like the second game more because it has like there's a scientist named Mauser in it. And that like the enemies that bust through kind of like wear like hooded robes and they have masks so they look like Shy Guys. It's kind of neat. It's interesting design to say the least.
Yeah. Fun personal story. First time I saw that movie was after I had my wisdom teeth removed. So
that was fun.
I was
Sounds like a good time.
I thought it was a good movie. Actually, at the time.
Also, fun story. The first time we met Anna, we were watching that movie.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I'm just looking at her, and there's this look of like meaningful, like
It's so true.
Saker, I haven't officially asked you what you're excited for / bummed out about yet.
So yeah, Smash Brothers, I'm going to play as Pac-Man and Wii Fit Trainer first. I'm so excited. Pac-Man looks crazy. He's got janky hitboxes and he's heavy and floaty and he just looks so good. Anyway, but besides for Smash Brothers, this episode, of course, today, as all of us can agree, is October 13th, which means that one of my favorite bands released an album yesterday. The same person who composed your theme song.
Oh, really?
Yes, that band is called 2D6, and their new album is called 1D12. 2D6 sells out, and I'm so excited to go listen to it right now.
People should probably look at it on the iTunes.
Sure.
Or the Bandcamp.
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 It's 2d6.bandcamp.com.
Yeah, yes, 2d6music.bandcamp.com, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, music, sorry.
Yep. So, I think that, I'm so excited. So I'm going to go listen to it now. Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye. You should like, comment, and subscribe.
Come
okay. Come along. No. Cool, man. No, I'm pumped for it, too. This being October 13th to listen to the 2D6 album. I'm excited for doing this podcast, which we're going to start right now. Okay, so look. There are a lot of haunted houses. A lot of them are spooky because they're haunted. And look, when I say haunted house, what comes to mind? Just, it can be a video game, it can be, movies, comics, anything at all. Sacred Dimmsdale, what haunts your house?
I watch a movie every single Halloween, and that movie is called Doom House.
House?
I also watch its sequel, Mood House. And those are my two favorite Halloween movies of all time, and coincidentally, they are about a haunted house.
Wow.
How on topic.
I know. A man moves into a house, and it is inhabited by a doll who haunts the house, and the doll is a spooky doll, and then the police come and try to help him, but really the police are in league with the doll because the doll is actually the spirit who protects the ancient terrorist burial ground that is below the house.
What?
Sounds fantastic.
Y'all need to go look up Doomhouse right now.
Doomhouse.
Whoop whoop.
Yes, indeed.
Sounds good.
And also Mood House is the same movie, except with all of the plot elements in reverse order because Mood is Doom backwards.
God.
So the very first
You
thing that
got
happens is that they find out that it's a terrorist burial ground, and then eventually at the very end, everything also happens in reverse. So instead of moving into the house at the beginning of the movie, he moves out of the house at the end of the movie. It's very confusing. Anyway.
That's funny.
It's very meta.
It is very meta. I like it.
As you should.
I better on the Utropeia podcast. Todd Ogredose.
What do I think of Poltergeist? Poltergeist.
Poltergeist.
Yep.
Out of all of the ones I could have picked, I didn't have that one, so I'm very surprised.
That one's kind of an interesting example because it's not like your stereotypical haunted house. It's because it's not like the creaky cobwebs everywhere. It's just like a house in California that a family moves into, and then there's a bunch of poltergeists in it, and scary, creepy things happen. And there's a really weird, long-legged ghost at some point. It's kind of freaky.
Is
in
there
a
a
Muppet
little
kind
girl?
of way. There is a little girl, and she talks to the people in the TV.
Is there a seance?
I guess. Just gonna be saucy about it now.
Okay. Just give me a little sass in my ghost movie.
Craig T. Nelson's in it too, so you could have your horror movie with a side of Coach.
Excellent.
Well done.
But no, it's
Well done.
it is a pretty freaky movie, especially it's made a little while ago now, back in the 80s, but it's it's still pretty chilling, so give it a watch.
They had 2 sequels to that movie too, but we won't talk about those right now.
Yeah,
Won't talk about those.
Set them off to the side.
We'll set them off for a later time. We'll let them cool on this haunted windowsill.
You'll get the Geist.
you get the geist of it. Oh, that's so good. Bill, MrYu video.
Yay! I am very happy that I get to bring up this because it's probably a game that has a little bit of meaning to me. Luigi's Mansion.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah, so I got a GameCube in like 2001, and it was the only game I got with it.
Because it's the only one that you
I
could
played
get
the
with
crap
it.
out of it. Well, Smash Brothers Melee came out like I think within a week or two.
You know what? I owe a letter of apology to that. So
no, it's fine because it was like I don't think I got it at like a launch, so it was like one of the few games you could get on it for a
Hey
while.
man, Monkey Ball.
Oh yeah,
excuse me,
Monkey Ball was one of the
Super
launch
Monkey
titles.
Ball.
Oh yes,
Oh,
excuse
yeah.
me, you're right.
Pick up, what is this, amateur hour?
I'm sorry, Neon Monkey Ball.
Yeah. So yeah, Luigi's like one of my favorite Nintendo characters because unlike Mario, he is not necessarily the face of Nintendo, so they can kind of mess with his personality. And I just Luigi's Mansion is so fun. Like they gave him so much personality, and it kind of played with the idea that it's always Bowser at the end. Like I guess it's kind of not a spoiler, but is. But yeah, it's not Bowser at the end. But they set it up like, oh no, it was just Bowser. No, it was King Boo.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Sorry.
Has
Sorry for those.
it
of
been
you.
2 years?
It's been.
I love Luigi's Mansion too.
I love
Wait.
Luigi's Mansion.
You mean 2 as in the sequel or also?
Also,
It's only called Luigi's Mansion 2 in Europe. It's Dark Moon here.
Yes.
Dark Moon.
Dark.
Which I have not played. Have you played it, MrYu video?
It is a lot of fun, but like the idea of going through multiple mansions, I'm not sure how much I like.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I like it because it, you don't have to like Metroid your way through this giant house all the time. But sometimes when you get stuck on a puzzle, it's a little annoying because it's like, God, I just got to this house and like I'm already stuck.
Yeah.
So it feels like less progress has been made when you get stuck.
It's unfortunate. It looks good. I own it. I've never played it. I don't know why.
As wonderful as it
I would
is,
recommend.
I find it so bizarre that Nintendo went that direction.
For Luigi's Mansion?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like a very odd idea
It's
for Nintendo.
yeah, no, it is. It's totally different for him, and I mean, it was his first title. Well, no, I take it back. There was Mario's missing.
Mario is
But-
missing.
Was that
Even
an
then-
official Nintendo title though?
I don't believe
think
it was.
Yeah.
Okay, well then that's his first official game. Then I redact my my statement. Redacted. There's a lot of redacting. Anyway, redact to the lab again.
Oh,
Oh no.
Redact to the future.
But redact to the future. Okay. This bell keeps getting stuck, just like DJ stuck. So buy the 2D6 album coming
oh
out
boy.
yesterday. Speaking of Dark Moons, Chris Moonjump.
Hey, the one I actually remember the most vividly was a game that absolutely terrified me as a child.
Mhm.
Like, mom and dad used to send me up, like my brother and I, up to go to bed so that they could play this. Because, hey, I have gamer parents. But what it was The Seventh Guest.
yeah.
I love Seventh Guest.
Fucking Seventh
my
Guest.
gosh.
And that game was horrifying. And,
It was scary as fucking hell.
yeah.
And we were too young to be playing it when that game came out.
Yes. And,
Plus,
and
the puzzles were hard.
yeah. And so, yeah, you get things like woman gets murdered with a gardening spade, and now, the psycho ghost killer is trapped in the house, and yeah.
Everything was spooky.
Yeah,
Everything.
everything. Like it was the perfect kind of high tension. And it came from kind of the old, or wasn't that the one where they had like FMV acting and things?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it was just like the first time you actually get to see something like that, and it always kind of stuck with me as being like kind of a prime example of good atmosphere setting. It was that one was a very big influence when I was young.
Mhm.
Because nightmares.
I hated the goddamn maze and crypt
Oh,
under the house.
yeah, that was.
Isn't it like,
terrible.
what did it say at a dead end? Like feeling lonely or something like that. It was really
Are
weird.
you feeling lonely?
It's really, really weird, and it would repeat every time.
Yeah, and well, hell, and I haven't played it since it came out, which was what, like,
Oh Jesus,
yeah,
that was like 3.2.
oh, 1993. So yeah, I was like 5 or 6.
It's been a
Oh,
while.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Been a while.
Been a while.
If I recall, wasn't there a sequel, The 11th
13th.
Hour?
13th hour?
no, the
Oh, no,
11th
11.
hour. Yeah,
No, oh
yeah.
god, I'm thinking of the fucking board game.
5 Nights of Strangling.
No.
13 Dead End Drive?
Yeah, 13 Dead End
13
Drive.
Minute Drive.
Nine?
Oh, that's a great one, actually. As far as this trope is concerned, I loved 13 Dead End Drive.
I did too, but it took forever to
It's
set.
it's more of an advanced mousetrap. I don't
It's
know.
true.
I was waiting for
Once
it.
you're done setting up the board, the novelty just sort of wears
Oh,
off.
Jesus Christ.
I'm glad we could talk about 13 Dead End Drive, though.
Yes. 13 Dead End Drive. We're all dead, but you're alive.
Whoa.
That was the theme song,
Nicely
right?
done.
the other one, even though it wasn't really haunted, but it fits like the horror house theme,
Mm-hmm.
was or actually it might have been haunted. I don't know. Maniac Mansion.
Oh,
Mhm.
God.
Yeah.
Well, what constitutes a
Oh,
haunted
yeah.
house? Because that was a house populated by weird people, some of whom were monstrous
Yeah.
and aliens. But
Well-
what's a haunted house?
You could just say spooky mansion.
This meta.
Yeah.
Well, because it was the people were under the influence of an alien
Yeah.
that was inhabiting the area.
It's kind of a
so-
form of possession, though.
Ooh,
So-
what constitutes a haunted house? Does it have to be a ghost?
Yeah, I would think it'd be ghosts, as it would be a
It
haunt.
could be anything.
Yeah, 'cause-
Demons.
Because wouldn't you think haunting something like, being, of an area and like sort of inhabiting it and like, just. I'm trying to find the right words, but this is the only one I can think of. Trolling it out, basically, just kind of like
Okay.
going through it, like guarding it almost, like. looking over it in a sort of sense. I mean, technically anyone can haunt a place. Like you can haunt a forum on the internet. You can haunt your social media. You can haunt a Taco Bell by constantly going there.
Right.
But I think in the traditional sense, it seems to usually be like an undead spirit who's died there and is tethered there. But I wouldn't be opposed to kind of opening that up to just like an influence, more or less, like kind of haunting or inhabiting that area, because there's more than just ghosts out there if you're creative with it, I guess.
Right.
All right.
Well, we've gotten that out of the way.
All right.
No, I think that's interesting. I don't know.
No, it's fine. Stamped, sealed, approved. Good.
Very good.
Anna Cranberry.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
There's so many
yes.
goddamn haunted houses.
There's a lot.
There's so many.
They need a realtor for all these haunted houses.
I'm going a little bit out of the way here.
Okay.
And I'm going to say the rides. The haunted house rides
yes.
that are at theme parks and all sorts of locations.
Oh, like the haunted mazes and stuff like that.
Yeah, there are mazes. There are rides too where like you're in a cart and it goes through. Those ones are less scary typically because it's just like really rehearsed.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cart will stop and then something will happen. But then there are also ones where you can like explore and walk through.
Yeah. So like the ones at your local fairs, maybe if they do like a Halloween thing, or like maybe you have like someone actually setting up one, or amusement parks like Cedar Point, something like that.
I think that speaks to how big this trope is. To the fact that it's an attraction at parks. It's a fun thing. I don't know if we'll probably talk about this more in the closing thoughts, but I just wanted to open with the fact that it's very well loved by everyone. Yeah. It's a thrill seeker sort of thing.
People seek out to be scared in a haunted place.
Dumbasses.
Get a job. Okay, sorry. You're right. Legalize it. How about that?
Why?
I don't know.
Get a job because you own a badass haunted mansion.
Get out of my haunted house, you damn kids. I guess it's only Ken left, which is, what did I put down? Oh, my documents. All of my documents that are all around on the desk. Oh, yeah, I had Casper.
Done and done.
All right, there we are.
That was a friendly example.
That was a friendly example.
When you think of Casper, do you think more of comic Casper or movie Casper?
I gotta be honest, it's the movie Casper, I guess,
Yeah,
because
me too.
I think everyone sort of has like a childhood like introduction movie to something scary or spooky, and I think yes, I'm dating myself. Casper was basically that movie where it was like here you hear something kind of scary. It's themed around like it got into like Casper's actual origins a little bit more. Like it did a take on it. It's not from the comics or even from the cartoons. Where it was just like, spoilers, sorry, Casper was a kid who died on a sled, and he wanted to be a friendly ghost, and everyone kind of runs away from him. And
if I remember that sled's name was Rosebud, right?
Yes.
Yes, citizen.
Rosebud.
Good job.
I remember the old animations for Casper, like the ones we inherited on a dusty VHS. There's a really
Old
sad one with the
cartoons of
Fox
Richie
Ghost or
Rich.
something. I don't know if anyone else does. Anyone else remember that one? Casper,
I
like
remember very little of the old
he's
Casper
like trying to find a
cartoons.
friend, and it's like a fox that just died, so he plays with that ghost.
Oh
and
Jesus, that's morbid.
I know, and it's supposed
They
to
used
be
to
like
show 'em
this
on
cute little
UPN.
kid show. It's actually pretty sad.
Yeah.
More haunted houses with Casper. Do you remember in the Casper movie when one of the Ghostbusters was in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd
Yeah.
shows
Who are you
up.
gonna call?
Yeah,
Someone else.
Somebody else.
Someone else.
They had that Exorcist joke. I never got that reference. Like, I know that's a character that gets kind of... He was referenced in the Atlantis movie. Do you know who I'm talking about? The guy with the cigar? Who was
I
just
don't.
like, I'm a florist. I'm gonna come in here and...
Oh, you mean Disney Atlantis?
Yes. Sorry.
Oh God.
What other Atlantis? Oh, Stargate Atlantis?
I don't know.
I don't know. How many more Atlantises are there?
Though, the Demolition Man.
Did we do an episode about this?
Maybe. I don't know. You should check it out on the Utropia podcast.
You should really listen to some past episodes of the Utropeia podcast.
Every week when we talk about stuff.
I like that you've introduced this podcast like 3 times so far.
It's good. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna overhype this
is a good
episode.
first episode.
It's good. A lot like the Utropia podcast.
Wow, what's that about? Do they talk about tropes? What a handsome sounding idea.
Ask your dad or mom before going on the internet.
Before I go to www.facebook/utropia.com/merchandise.
Facebook/Utropia.com.
What's Facebook?
What's Facebook? Well, here, little Timmy, let me talk about who does it well or just.
Your fucking mind.
Let me open your fucking mind with who does it well or just does it differently. I'm gonna say an example. I don't know if anyone else has seen this movie, but I have. It's called 13 Ghosts. 13 Ghosts.
How many are there?
Yes, the original.
There's 13. There's a baker's dozen of ghosts.
Is it at a dead end drive?
We're all dead, but you're
Are
alive.
they all trying to
Does
get
it involve
a
Scooby-Doo?
I won't flim-flam you on this. The 13
Yeah.
Ghosts movie featuring Jay Moore and Monk. And what is that actor's name?
Oh, okay, not the original one. Then.
This movie is interesting because it's about a dude who designed a sort of house that basically acts as a prison for ghosts and also a gateway into hell. Basically, so it's these people and they're trapped inside of this house for some reason with these 13 different archetypes for ghosts. And they like one of them has to die to become like the last ghost basically, and then it'll open the gateway to hell, and then there's some sort of prize for shaking hands with the devil, maybe a gold fiddle. I just think it's an interesting idea. The movie is a clusterfuck of what is going on, but it's got some kind of interesting stuff where it's like kind of clock punk or like steam mechanics with like ectoplasm glass that like captures the ghosts and it releases them on like a time mechanism. So it's almost a labyrinth inside of a haunted house at the same time. It's one of the most interesting looking movies. I'll say that. Like aesthetically, it's one of the most interesting looking movies I've ever seen. But it is all fucking over the place. But yeah, that was my example of who does it differently, I guess, instead of who does it well. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. Todd.
Okay. I have a couple. I had a bunch of different examples for this one actually.
Yes.
One of the first ones I went to was Super Mario World.
Oh,
because it's really like it
Ghost
introduced
house.
ghost houses kind of to like the more Mario World, and it was like it was a maze. It was like all like twisty-turvy, and basically it was an excuse to throw any kind of like weird ghost or skeleton enemy or whatever, to throw them all into like one kind of level and just kind of confuse the player. And sometimes you'd end up fighting like the big King Boo in them and stuff like that. So I thought it was it's just a really kind of cool example of like your traditional haunted house. And the other one I really wanted to bring up was Evil Dead.
Yes, I was gonna bring that up too. It's so good.
Sorry, I stole it from you. But
no, it's okay.
But that's not even like directly ghosts. It's like just like weird demonic stuff. And technically, I guess it's not even the house that's haunted. It's the book that like summons all of this stuff, and it all takes place in the cabin in the woods and all that stuff. And there's a lot of weird possession stuff that happens in it, and just a lot of really creepy things. But it centers around a lot of like just like weird demonic happenings, and but it's all in the cabin in the woods, and kind of like the secluded location. So really wanted to talk about it.
If you're talking about cabin in the woods movies, I mean, nobody does it better than Cabin in the Woods, to
Yes.
be honest.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yes.
when you talk about, haunted houses, I mean, that one, obviously it takes cues from Evil Dead quite a bit because it's
Yes.
basically Evil Dead's premise, but it's not the book that's haunting the house, it's, other things going on. But man, that's totally a haunted house. What a great movie that is.
Yeah.
I didn't have it down, but I just thought about it as you were talking.
It
Yeah.
speaks to it on so many levels. I mean, it is like a love letter / commentary on the trope itself of like the movie, the haunted house, like the structure that you go through, and then like all of the permutations that can possibly happen within it at the same time. That like it talks about the character archetypes. It is a trope movie, actually.
Yeah,
It is a,
Yeah,
It's a haunted house
it is
trope movie.
directly a horror trope movie.
It's a deconstruction. I mean, I would think, yeah. And that's that.
and there we go. Good job.
We deconstructed it.
Yeah,
now we're done.
and it's hard. Even I think it's been post 2 years, but it's so hard to talk about that movie without giving
too much away.
Giving all of it away.
Yes.
So if you have not, we won't go any farther into it, but if you have not seen Cabin in the Woods, go watch it and kind of make the decision for yourself on everything, and kind of you'll be a little shocked in it. Let's just say that.
You know how there are movies that you'll go out and see, and it leaves such an impression on you that it's what you think about for like not just like the next morning after you have viewed it, but the day after as well. Like that's one of those movies for me, at least. It's like I watched it and I couldn't stop thinking about it for like the next 2 days. Yeah. It was, I don't know. It's just a really good take. But yeah, that's a little gushing about that. Chris Moonjump.
Well, the one actually that I've always been very curious about that they've never really discussed it is, do you remember the girl in, for those of you who played Pokemon X and Y?
Oh,
yes.
The unsolved mystery of the ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's one that's actually people have kind of constructed massive theories about it.
Okay.
Because they think that being as she's psychically enabled, that she's actually attached to the Darkrai storyline.
Okay.
So there's kind of a massive fan theory that it's going to basically get tied back in with the remakes of Ruby and Sapphire.
Okay.
But Pokemon's always had, they've always had the ghost ones, and I've always kind of loved them because it's, again, Pokemon is a very interesting series for very adult theories and very childish games.
Mm-hmm. All of their ghosts are very interesting, actually, for what they do.
Yeah, because I mean, you had in Black 2 and White 2, you had the girl who apparently died with her family in the mansion.
Yeah.
And they just kind of leave it out there, and I thought it was, I think it's something like that where it's still just kind of a fun little area, like, oh cool, it's an abandoned mansion, it's pretty, but it's that little bit of fridge horror, and I think that works really well.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of an actual slightly more serious example of it, you actually wind up having a fairly deep kind of mission with that within a game for the Wii called The Last Story. Where you're effectively, you go in after hearing all of these hauntings where effectively it's cleared out like a street block of people disappearing, and effectively, they have young women disappear every month in there. And you can't figure out why, and it's actually a vampire who every person he kills effectively becomes ghosts or liches or skeletons or crazy shit in it.
Sounds pretty rad.
Yeah, and it was just it was one, and the one I liked for that is because they actually the way that the ghosts began to come, the way that the first vampire effectively came about is tied to the events they have in the storyline, so it kind of progresses it. Unfortunately, it's been 2 years, so I can't really talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
But the way they actually tie it in is kind of being a fun little side mission for some nice gear. But they actually do tie it into the main storyline to the point where it does give you a little bit of fluff, whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
sounds pretty dark.
Yeah.
It is a very interesting one because it's basically it falls into kind of that category of haunted houses of messing with forces beyond your comprehension. And that's always kind of been my favorite haunted house. Is you can have your killers, you're strictly supernatural, but it's something where effectively no, you ran into something you didn't want to. Kind of getting into if you're to go back into like some of the H.P. Lovecraft stories, where it's just the creeping madness.
A force beyond time and space, unable to be comprehended by the human mind. Madness! Madness! Like Bill in MrYu video.
Thanks.
Hey, you're all right by me, buddy.
So, mine is something that kind of led to a big change in a series. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
Yes.
So,
You hear this
for
screeching over now?
for those who don't know about the whole thing, is there were a few movies with Scooby and Shaggy where paranormal stuff was real. It was Reluctant Werewolf and Ghoul School.
Ghoul School.
But that was Red Shirts, Shaggy. So if you ever saw a show like 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, where anything that Shaggy was wearing a red shirt was different from the main continuity where Shaggy's in a green shirt, where everything was people in masks. So Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island was the first one where green shirt Shaggy was in a situation with real ghosts. And then that opened the door to like a movie every other year, I think, for which the quality went downhill with each one.
But that first one was a game changer, though. Like, it really was.
Yeah, Zombie Island was actually really good.
Which one was okay?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the one after that had the Hex Girls, like the first intro to them.
Yeah, because they had Tim Curry in it.
That's right. A movie with Tim Curry.
Clue.
But yeah, like Zombie Island was really kind of like, I think brought Scooby-Doo back kind of into pop culture a little bit. Like it was an interesting and kind of almost serious look at a Hanna-Barbera property that hadn't been really done.
Did they
anyway.
release that with the Scooby-Doo project? Remember? Does anyone else remember that?
The Scooby-Doo project was just a Halloween marathon of Scooby-Doo, like the Cartoon Network did as a like in between episodes. Which, if you don't know that one, they did a Blair Witch parody with the Scooby-Doo characters. And it was awesome.
Back when that was actually a thing that you could parody, and it wouldn't be dated as hell.
Yeah, that is super dated now. But then again, so is Scooby-Oo.
What do you mean, Saker? Are you saying that there's a surplus of found footage movies?
I'm just saying specifically the half face from the nose up crying saying, "Oh mom, I'm so sorry, mom," and everybody was doing it and it was just funny because it was, oh, it's that character doing that thing from the Blair Witch Project. Specifically that shot for some reason comes to mind.
I don't know a lot.
Can we do an episode based on that shot, by the way?
Just on that one shot. That's our plot device. That's not even a plot device though.
That one scene from Blair Witch.
Maybe that's our general. I don't know. We'll try and shoehorn it in, I guess. I don't know that many parodies of that scene, actually. That's hilarious to me. Leave Brittany alone. I'm sorry, Mom. Leave Brittany alone.
Yeah, Leave Brittany Alone is probably a parody of that Blair Witch Project scene, I think, once you look enough into it.
Just
when you really deconstruct it.
Yeah, when you really deconstruct it. Break it down to its roots. Yes. Sorry, Chris.
No, I was gonna say because there was one I had forgotten. I just don't want to cut anyone off with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, have we gone through everyone at this point?
Anna needs to go next.
Anna, go.
And me.
And Saker.
Okay. Oh my god.
Okay.
I'd like the high pitch Saker. I have too many that I want to talk about. I just want to do some shout outs.
Okay.
I want to specify. Video games have always been the scariest interpretation
you
of
are
media
a
for me.
scary game
I'm
person.
a fucking scaredy cat.
Scaredy.
You know, most people who are normal when they play a scary game, they're like, that's pretty scary. I have like full-on terror attacks when I play a scary game. Like, I have to just drop it and never play it again. Like, I cannot
It's
play
pretty
it.
adorable, actually.
It's not. I had nightmares.
Nightmares are adorable.
Specifically, the game that I really wanted to point out was Eternal Darkness. That was the one that just ruined me.
Yeah.
It is a haunted mansion. You are like tripping balls the entire thing. The more scared you get, the worse it is, and it's so fucked up. But it's a really, really, that's like what I think of for just a scary haunted mansion. It's not necessarily, like goofy in any way. It's not like, oh, there's a skeleton. It's genuinely like walls are bleeding, statues are following you, like the tub is filled with blood and you're in it kind of shit. Other things I just want to point out that are really well known and some not so well known, Amnesia, The Dark Descent is a very good, just like haunted castle sort of thing. Terrible nightmares happening in there. A old text adventure game called Hugo and the House of Horror.
Oh my god!
Yeah, do you know
Holy
this game? Holy shit!
You just like flashed me back to like 8th grade. I had forgotten about that game entirely until you said those words.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, there's a lot of like weird things in there that you wouldn't really expect for a haunted mansion, but it's pretty cool. I think you would actually like it, Ken. 7.
Yeah, it was.
Go ahead.
Oh, it was a click and point adventure.
It was where
and
you
there was-
walk with the arrow keys, but you type in your actions.
Huh.
That's right. Yes, it was a text sort of a visual.
I think
text
it's free
adventure.
now if anyone wants to go find it. All the
It was
Hugo games
really
are.
good. I remember it was VGA. It was probably around the same time as Leisure Suit Larry, which kind of defined that era for me, which probably tells you a lot about my childhood. In any case, it was I remember it being really good. And there's a sequel too, where instead of being in a haunted house, he gets trapped in the jungle. His plane.
That's the
crashes or
third one.
something.
The second one is where you play as his wife Penelope, trying to
Jesus,
rescue Hugo, and it's called Who Done It, I think.
Who done it?
I want to point out the terrible thing about these games is that was when sound was played directly through a PC.
Oh.
Yes!
So if you play it, like, you could never play it not in the daytime because it would just blast like every time you did any action in the game, and it was fucking awful.
Oh, that's so nostalgic because I'm remembering. I'm like, where did I get that? And I think I went to the flea market and I bought one of those discs that's like 700 PC games.
That's where I got
on
it.
One CD.
It was and if anyone can ever find this, I'll never find it again. I don't know. I've asked my dad about this because he brought us a disc that was just like 100 demos, and it was called like Mega Games 100 or something.
Yes.
And it had all the Hugo games on it and all this stuff on it, and I can never find it again. I really want to know the names of many of those old ones. There was also Mad Dog Williams. This is not related, but that's just another thing. You can redact this. That's okay.
Redacted.
I could go on for many, many more games, but those are ones I like a lot. 7 Days a Stranger, I just wanted to mention because I thought it was a really cool idea. And something I want to mention as far as doing it different.
Yes.
I'm almost done.
Well, we're not there yet.
Monster House.
So
there.
He gives a shit.
All right.
Redact that too if you want.
Well, maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
Look, I took up less the time than other people's one thing, so I think.
All,
that's fair.
all right. One thing, I don't know why.
Damn.
We'll let her
Doesn't
have
matter.
this.
All right.
It's a hunt.
I'll let you have this.
She gets victories on the Utropeia podcast
Fair
so
enough.
few times.
Fine, Ken.
You did it.
Ice Mansion and Twilight Princess.
Look into
Yeto.
those eyes. Yeto's
Pumpkin
eyes.
Soup Zone.
Oh yeah, I do love the pumpkin soup.
I know you do.
It's good. It's a ghost pumpkin soup.
Dun, 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 dun.
You know, Dimmsdale. Dimmsdale.
Dimmsdale.
Yes.
Dimmsdale.
Oh.
Dimmsdale.
Who does it good? Or different?
So I have a small one and a big one. My small one has it been 2 years since Cabin in the Woods?
I think so. Yeah.
2012, I think.
And I don't want to spoil it either, but honestly, if you haven't seen Cabin in the Woods by now, please go. Like, you know what? Don't even go see it because there's no excuse, and I'm about to ruin it for you. So
So turn off the podcast now.
Go watch
go
it and then
watch
come
Cabin
back.
in the Woods, and then come
Come
back
back.
and rejoin us.
We will be waiting for you.
All right.
Just do it. But anyway, there's Cabin in the Woods is deconstruction, but basically the idea is that the house is just a setting for any monster movie, and any monster movie could have happened in that house. It was just sort of the template to which any monster movie sort of applies itself. When I saw Cabin in the Woods, I thought, oh my god, this is Betrayal at House on the Hill, the movie. If you've never played Betrayal at House on the Hill, it is a board game. And it is one of the best I'm a board game aficionado, and it is one of the best board games I've ever played in my life. Basically, you and X number of acquaintances, however many people are playing the game, have entered this mansion on the hill that is heavily rumored to be haunted. And basically it starts with just a hallway with doors, and as you go through the doors, you flip over tiles at random to sort of build this mansion that's different every time. But the idea is that you find omens, and every time you find an omen, you have to roll a certain number. If you fail to roll a number, the haunt has started. And so basically, this book has 50 haunts in it that comes with the game. And so, like, in this haunt, I might be the bad guy, and also I have a horde of zombies that I've been trying to resurrect secretly this whole time. So it, like, creates a plot for these characters that you're going through the house with. And so now it's me versus the rest of the people in the house. Or... you know, and some of them are serious, like there's zombie attacks and there's vampires and there's werewolves, and then some of them get into like goofy horror tropes, like, and some of them aren't even horror tropes, like one of them you've created a shrink ray and you invited these people here because you want to test it on them, and so you shrink the rest of the people, and then their mission is to escape the house while the cat is chasing them around. They have to like wind up a little toy airplane and fly it out the window.
That's amazing.
It's one of the best board games I've ever played in my life. I will bring it next time I come visit, and we'll play Betrayal.
Cool.
But yeah, Betrayal. So basically, Cabin in the Woods is Betrayal at House on the Hill, the movie, which made me love that movie even more. Okay, that was my small one, even though it took up a lot of time, but still less time than Anna's. I'll have everybody know. I couldn't let her get by with a victory.
Can we time
I'm sorry,
it?
Anna.
Yeah. It's not including my redacted.
All right, I'll put the 2 times up on the title card.
My big one, the one I was really excited about when I heard we were doing Haunted Houses this week, is my favorite book of all time, which is called House of Leaves. Mm-hmm. Has anyone read it? No. Okay,
no,
so
I'm gonna leave you to it.
How was I supposed to follow that joke? Okay, so House of Leaves. Ooh, follow, because it's fall and leaves. Anyway, so it's a book. Once you get to the bottom of it, it's all about mazes. The whole book is okay. It's an epistolary novel about this guy named Johnny Truant, and he is cleaning out this dead man's house, and he finds a paper that he wrote about a movie called The Navidson Record. So it's a story about a movie, but the movie never really existed, neither in the real world nor in the fictional world. So already you've got this weird maze of levels upon levels. So most of the story is this guy, this blind guy Zampano, his writings. But Johnny Truant, the main character, leaves these footnotes about, you know, oh, this happened today. And sometimes his footnotes can take up pages upon pages where it's like you're actually reading a different book now than what you were reading before. Anyway, so the Navidson Record, so mazes. Mazes is the theme here. We're going with mazes. Okay. The Navidson Record, this movie that this guy wrote about, is about this family, and they're trying to keep it together. There's a lot of strife within the family, and they move into a new house and a new place, and they go on vacation, and when they come back, a door that previously didn't have anything behind it now has a closet. And then the next time they open the door, now the closet is a little bit bigger. And every time, like he goes and he measures the outside of the house, and he realizes that the inside of the closet is an inch bigger than the house is. So this closet shouldn't be able to exist. And then every time they reopen the door, it seems like the house is changing what's happening. And so eventually it gets to what they call the 5.5-minute hallway, which is this house is bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. They open it, there's a 5.5-minute hallway leading into pure darkness. And this house is basically the house is malicious, and it leads them to misfortune. And also there might be a monster in the middle of it. There's lots of allusions to Daedalus's Labyrinth, which is kind of a haunted house in itself, I guess, if we're going classic.
I also hear it has astronaut ice cream at the end of it.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
It's in the gift shop, dude.
But it is it's absolutely the most interesting novel I've ever read, and watching these characters go through their own personal hells and reading these different layers of the book. It's a house with a maze, and the book is a maze, and it's about mazes. And as you read, as they're going through the maze, you have to like sometimes turn the book as if you're going through it with them because the
just
words.
gonna make that joke.
Oh yeah,
my
it's not a
gosh.
joke, my friend.
This is no
It's
fucking
real.
joke. Get out.
Yeah, and as they go through narrow corridors, you might turn the page, and the words are getting smaller and smaller on the page until it's just a tiny little box of words.
Cool.
But it is an incredible novel, and if you are ever in the mood for something spooky, House of Leaves, Mark Z. Danielewski. It is his first book and his best book.
Sounds pretty amazing.
It totally is.
Amazing.
Wait, did you mean to do that, Todd?
I most certainly did.
God.
You
I
doubt?
thought you were empathizing with my, it sounds like a good book, Saker. No, you just wanted to make a goddamn
I would never do
joke.
that.
I was just reaching for the bell. Everyone needs one.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so we have yes. Yes, go.
I had one that I wanted to mention because I feel like we would be remiss in not mentioning it. The Shining.
The Shining, yes.
Yeah. I was going to bring that up at some point as well.
Because, for anyone who has not seen that, first, that's amazing. And you should totally go see it. It's
because
it's also because it also proves the theory that Stanley Kubrick filmed the moon landing.
Mm-hmm.
Sure,
it does.
Yeah.
In 237.
Yeah,
never happened.
It's an important piece of American history, man.
No, I believe the man mentions that we did go to the moon later. Just the first one.
Just to psych you out.
It's it's Stanley Kubrick. It wouldn't surprise me. But
no, the Shining's a cool example though, because it doesn't necessarily completely focus around like the haunting, but the haunting kind of is a catalyst for a lot of other things in it.
Yeah.
Because the ghosts are essentially driving
the plot
Jack toward crazy, and he's kind of freaking out, and then the whole hunting down his family and killing him.
Oh, here's Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
Five.
lot. He is alive.
Or is he? I think that's the whole crux of the movie.
If it's
he's
13
always
Dead
been
End
there.
Drive, we're all dead, but he's alive.
I love where that went to. But there's a lot of just really weird paranormal stuff in that, and it all leads up to a pretty big climax to the film.
That is one I would not
really great
spoil,
example,
even
though.
though it's super old.
Yeah.
It is something that needs to be experienced because
Mm-hmm.
it's brilliant, and I really think it's one of those great because you can never tell exactly. There are some portions of it that seem to be a part of his fevered imagination,
Mm-hmm.
and some of it is not, and it's difficult to tell which pieces are and aren't.
It's between him and Stephen King had written the original book to it. And the book and the film have a handful of differences to them.
Yeah.
The mini series that actually played follows the book a lot closer. But that film is fantastic.
I'm gonna gush a little bit. I love the movies that kind of make you question the sanity of the main character. That's a trope in itself, actually. Just having the main character be in such a state that you don't know if what's actually happening is like a supernatural force, or the setting fucking with you, or if it's the person's mind itself, the
unreliable author
which
kind
is
of thing.
Yeah,
Or,
I'm a big sucker for that sort of thing, and it's a great example, I think, of that done well in a movie. So no, good. I'm glad we included it.
Lot of Stephen King haunted house. I mean, I was thinking of including 1408.
Rose Red.
Yeah, Rose Red.
1408.
I hate that movie, but that's
1408. God damn it! It's It's like another almost trigger. It's like Event Horizon for me. I mean, look.
Hey,
I'm
what about
sorry.
Event
Oh
Horizon?
no!
God fucking damn it, Event Horizon. Yes, it's a fucking house that motherfucker, god damn it. I never watch this movie during the day. It's always at like 3 a.m. when like I don't have anything better to do and I want to make a bad life choice. So why not? Why not watch it again? We have such sights to show you. Fuck you. God damn it. Anyway, so who does it badly? Or makes it redundant? And a Cranberry.
I asked for the title of this movie
Okay.
previously, and I think Bill said it was House on Haunted Hill. Is that correct?
Mm,
The Haunting.
No, it was The Haunting.
The Haunting.
Specifically the remake. I think you're
The
talking
remake
about
of it,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much potential when you have a
With
haunted
Catherine
house.
Zeta-Jones.
I mean, for any story, it's pretty much here's a creepy house, and then you figure out why it's a creepy house.
Or
You're just thrilled by how creepy it is.
you experience it.
Yeah. And this one, it was
A train.
a train.
A ghost train.
I love ghost trains. Anyway,
But that's different. A little bit.
it's kind of a house.
Kind of.
Does the ghost train run on
Sometimes
the
late
trains?
at night, when you hear the whistling sound, the ghost of a crazy engineer with fire in his eyes. Whoa. I'm waiting on that.
I was enjoying it. I didn't want to cut him up. I know you love that
I do.
episode of Hey Arnold.
It's
that
good.
Traumatized me when I was little.
Smells like
I
eggs.
thought the ghost was creepy. And they think they go through hell, which is pretty severe.
Well, it just smells like rotten eggs. It's a
Anyway.
steel mill.
The Haunting.
The haunting.
Bunch of dumb teenagers.
Mhm.
Question marks age? Maybe
Yeah.
they were older. They acted
I
like
think they
dumb
were
teenagers.
adults.
Mhm.
It's like, oh my god, we're gonna be totally fine. Everyone murders each other, or they all die horribly. Piano wire is what I remember.
Yep.
Not much of a story whatsoever, other than being dumb and dying.
Owen Wilson is what I always
Owen
remember.
Wilson.
Hey there.
Hey, man.
I know you're haunting this place, but you need to calm down.
Guys, we need to get out.
Guys, I know.
I'm shouting as loud as I can.
God damn,
Oh,
Owen
wow.
Wilson.
Wow. Dies
I'm
for
gonna
the
throw a
Wow.
I'm gonna throw a spoiler out.
Okay.
It's the most satisfying part of the movie is when his head gets blasted off by like a giant battering ram thing in a fireplace. Yeah.
Fireplace.
Or
For some reason.
Why not?
simply because I need to mention this scene.
Yes.
Ghost Ship,
Ghost
I
ship.
believe is what the
God damn.
movie is called.
A ship can be a
Where in
house.
the first 5
Can
minutes,
be a houseboat.
an entire crew of people ballroom dancing on the surface of a boat get decapitated by wire.
What?
Except for one little girl because she's too short to be
Look,
decapitated by the wire.
Just Google
They're
intro
all
to
the
Ghost
same
Ship.
height.
Yeah, well, it cuts through all of these
It's like in the
torsos.
very beginning of the
and it's
movie.
only
Yeah,
this
all
little
the
girl.
torsos like start spurting blood and just fall to the
Yep.
ground.
Ghost Ship.
It's like a real
Ghost
anime.
Ship opening scene.
Yep.
YouTube. I'm watching it right now. I don't even care that we're
I
broadcasting.
don't even care about format.
I'm watching it on mute. I don't
I'm
even
gonna do
care.
this. All right. Bill, MrYu video.
Oh,
I
man.
got
now
shit
you got
on the
down
spot.
Sound like
Talk
so
about ghost
sassy.
ships.
You really got me now.
You got me.
Girl, you really got me now.
This wire just killed everything.
Actually,
They're all so scared, and the wire's covered in blood. All right, go ahead. Sorry,
I'm at a
Bill.
floss for words.
Who wrote your joke?
yeah, when Anna was asking about The Haunting, and I said House on Haunted Hill, the remake of House on Haunted
Yeah,
Hill, I
that
didn't
was-
think was all that great. It was one of those weird. I it was kind of interesting. Like this guy, like essentially.
I'm sorry. I'm
Alright there, buddy.
watching these bodies fall apart. I'm so sorry.
You said you weren't sorry. You know what? Letter of
that's right.
apology. Letter of apology.
Okie dokie.
Saker.
Write it up for me. I'll sign
No,
it.
Saker
you're
was
gonna-
not
you're going to-
actually
Those are
sorry.
handwritten, sir.
Sorry that he said he was.
Oh shit. Wait. All right. Fine.
Anyway, The idea was kind of interesting of like the guy setting up a fake haunted house, but then it like a lot of movies in that era, it was executed poorly at the end. Like the same thing with The Haunting, like just the end is like out of nowhere.
I'm gonna piggyback on yours, Bill, because that was one of my examples was House on Haunted Hill, the remake, not the original. Maybe we'll talk about the original.
Though I do believe the original is a movie where you can see a bat.
No,
on
you
a
see a
wire.
skeleton.
on a wire ring. Oh no, that's not
Oh
a
yeah,
wire.
it was the skeleton.
It's
That's
just
what it was.
There were pulleys and shit involved. It was.
Man.
It was.
It's pretty much
Look,
the best.
I could say back in the day, skeletons are serious business, but let's be honest, skeletons are serious business right now.
If you see a skeleton in your house, you should probably leave the house.
Well, it's probably
Like,
also
throw
in your
that one
body
out there.
because
Yes.
we've all got one.
Or it's
Or-
teleported.
Yeah, it's skeleported into your home.
This is true.
And if that's the
At which
case,
point
there
you
is
need
no
to direct him back to the Justice League.
And then- the skeleton is coming from inside your body.
You call up his buddy, the
The
hype
hype
ghost.
ghost. We'll spit some mad rhymes for you. It'll be great. No, that was my example too. The things that I remember that made that movie kind of like whatever for me, besides the fact that it's like it starts out like, if you start off with a premise that's been utilized before, you want to have like an interesting twist, or you want to have something that makes it unique. Like, yes, you get $1 million for staying in this house for one night. Like, granted, interesting concept. Like, who would want to do this, and like, what's the risk involved? But when it's like it's built on an insane asylum, and all the ghosts are everyone who's died, and it's a force just called when your big bad is just a ball of darkness. How scared do you really want me to get? Because I don't know. There's other movies that involve like darkness and utilizing like the fear of what you can't see, but
Which, you know what that reminds me of? Just the ball of darkness. Phantoms.
fucking Phantoms with Ben Affleck.
Yes.
Affleck, you're the bombing phantoms, yo.
Phantoms.
Like, that's another movie that, like, the ending just kind of comes out of nowhere.
Sure.
And it is directly, I think, a big ball of darkness.
And alien phantom worms at the bottom of the... Sure. Yeah, why not? It's in the middle of nowhere. Todd, have I asked you who you think does it badly?
No, I don't have a good example, so I really am just gonna like tag along with Anna's example. The freaking Haunting was terrible.
What do you mean, man?
It was so
Wasn't the
stupid.
end of
And-
that one that, like, the main woman was, like, the niece or something of the
it
ghost
was
grandma?
like I think it was the granddaughter. She's screaming at the painting, "I'm here, grandfather!" That's so fucking stupid.
I think it speaks enough on its own that none of us can really remember.
Oh, it's so, and there's like, I remember a scene with like, because it's like the grandfather was killing children in the house, so the children are all trying to warn the main woman, and they're coming off as like weird cherub statues of children.
cherubs.
It's freaking weird and stupid. There was I
It's
wish I could
true.
remember the name of another movie I have in mind, and it was like one of those like cheapo like sci-fi or like FearNet movies. I really wish I could remember the
Is it
name of it,
Pandorum?
but it is now. But no, it was about like a realtor, and he like he's trying to like sell this house, but he knows it's obviously filled with ghosts, but he's trying to like clean it up and sell it to people. It's somewhere between like a horror movie and like a really dumb comedy. But I don't think it's trying to be either. It just is.
Is this one of the movies in the Bad series, like Bad Grandpa? Is it Bad Realtor?
Snotty,
now.
naughty realtor.
Naughty Realtor.
Isn't there like
It's
naughty?
like the asylum version of Bad.
Okay,
It's just naughty.
Is it The Selling?
I think it is The Selling. I think you're right.
That's
a
the
great
only
name.
selling that movie's gonna experience.
No, I'm pretty sure that's it. The
No,
Selling.
shut Bill, were you being serious?
Yeah. No,
Oh,
a too honest for his own good real estate agent has to sell a haunted house before its ghostly
Yes!
inhabitants ruin his life.
Yes, that is it. Thank you so
Oh,
much,
God.
Bill. The selling.
This.
Oh,
Bill,
beautiful.
are you on
Thank you,
IMDb
Bill.
right
Yeah, you
now?
know.
I am.
Can you like tell me, is that like 1995 made for TV movie?
No,
Like,
No, it is
Recent,
2011 made for TV movie.
You're welcome.
that's insane.
I barely escaped the stupid 2-year rule to tell everyone about the goddamn selling.
Trigger warning. The selling.
The
Todd
selling.
Ogredose. All right. Ooh, yeah.
I need to watch that
God
movie
damn
now. I'm
it.
not gonna lie.
God damn the selling.
Chris Moonjump.
All right, I'm gonna take one that we had on our cue sheet this week
Go.
because it is a really good example of it, and it kind of fits a lot of very stupid haunted house tropes.
Yes.
And that's American Horror Story.
Yes.
And I think we're outside of the 2-year rule for that.
I think for the first series, because there's the second one where it's like
the insane asylum.
and third is the coven, the witch coven. That was a
Yeah.
whole mess of. Never mind. Okay. Yes. Go on.
But yeah, so basically in American Horror Story, you have a family, going through a rocky marriage right now, and the dad, the psychologist, basically moves into a home that can double as his psych facility.
Yes.
But it's haunted.
Ooh.
And as people begin to fucking die or randomly reappear in the area, the family decides that, we realize there's some weird shit going on, but it would really be a bummer if we had to move. Like, we'd have to pull our daughter out of school, and that would just not be okay,
I couldn't
even
work
though she
from
got in like a
home.
knife fight at some point.
Forgot about
And-
that fight.
And yeah, like the dad is banging the maid who just randomly appeared in the house one day, and
Sometimes she's
she-
old and sometimes she's
old.
not.
But no, you know what? It would really just be super inconvenient to move out of the house. So we're all gonna die in here and live happily ever after and haunt the fuck out of the next family that comes.
Sure, we're pretty much just sharing it with our other roommate ghosts, like split rent.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Who are we to judge ghost culture?
Yeah. Even though one of them is, and I'm not super sure, was the one blonde kid actually a ghost from the beginning, or does he die in that whole thing?
Oh, that guy who was Quicksilver later on.
Yeah.
He was dead, I think, in canon with American Horror Story. He was like the son who
Okay.
died, I want to say.
Yeah. Okay. Because I was not super sure, but I'm not surprised with that either. So.
Mhm. Yeah, no, look, American Horror Story has a lot of good parts to it, but parts like the complete like dismissal of things that are going on in like the neighborhood, like the multiple ghosts, I think is kind of interesting because it's like they acknowledge each other but they don't at the same time. It's like they only like kind of perceive what they want to while they're in the house. And also like the interplay between how like the owners inside of the house can view the ghost, like the fact that you can look at someone and that they're a different person, like depending on who's looking at them. I think that's kind of interesting. But it's exactly what you said. So yes, well done, good.
It's just one of those, like I said, it falls into those very common, like, it's one of the stupidest horror tropes where you get the people who've moved into the house. I mean, even with like some of the, like, to go back into some of the possession stuff where you get into like the paranormal activities and stuff.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden, oh yeah, like all this weird shit's happening in our house and I think it might be haunted. I know, let's get an exorcist rather than, move. Like, burn it to the ground.
Mhm.
I don't know. Like, there's plenty of better options than stay.
Wasn't it at
You moved the tombstones, but you didn't move the body.
You built it on an ancient Indian burial ground. Oh, you did tell me 5 times. You told me as I
Oh
signed.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Huh, okay.
Well, I'm mistaken.
It was in the lease.
It was in the lease. Alrighty. Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, everybody. First episode. What was I gonna say? No, I don't know. Anyway, Saker.
Yeah, I got a big one and a small one. So the small one is more calling out an inconsistency, and that's that Capcom had no idea what they were doing when they brought Resident Evil over to the States. Because the first game takes place in a haunted mansion, and they thought, oh, it would be very cute if we called this game Resident Evil, because there's evil taking up residence in this place, in this residence. Yeah, but then Resident Evil 2 was a whole city, and Resident Evil 4 was like an entire country. So, I mean, I guess it's still resident, but you've really lost the whole haunted house idea.
Yeah.
Capcom, is it really resident at this point?
Good job, game designers.
Yeah.
Well, you know why they had to change the name?
Yeah, it's called Biohazard in Japan, and they were going to bring it over, but there's a heavy metal band in America called Biohazard.
Oh, wow, that's all right.
Right? Is that right, Bill?
Yes, that is. I think they're a European band, but the record label didn't want the record label that brings the records over. I think didn't want to have any confusion.
Yeah, so they called it Resident Evil, which was a cute and clever name for the first one, but obviously they had no idea that it would change so drastically. Anyway, so what's my bad? Oh, yeah, that's right. My bad one is you guys were talking about the remake of House on Haunted Hill. I think, this might get me some slag, or, get me some slag. People might slag on me.
You might get
People
some
might,
slag tights.
Sorry to our British friends.
I might get neon for this, but I think the original House on Haunted Hill is just a horrible, terrible mess of a movie.
I don't think we were defending it earlier, so you feel free to say as much as you want about that.
Yeah, I mean it is garbage. Like nobody's motivations make sense. So this guy wants to punish his wife, so he throws her a party, but he invites like known murderers, and also the house might be haunted, but it might not be haunted, and that's never cleared up. And also, one of the people at the party is the guy who owns the house, and he makes it very clear in the opening that he doesn't want this party happening at his house. Guess what? It's your goddamned house. Kick people out. Like, call the police. What are you doing?
But I wouldn't want to be in
Are
hospital.
you going to say no to Vincent Price?
Yeah, that's true. And there are so many what TV tropes would call Batman gambits in this movie, which are, I knew you would do this, so I did that because you would do this because I knew this and that would happen. Like, you've planned out 50 moves in advance what's going to happen. And that is, the mark of that is all over this movie.
Yeah.
Also, god damn it, a dude falls in acid and it eats everything but his skeleton, which remains intact and, like, connected by its joints still. I don't know, man.
Skeletons are serious business, Saker.
I know.
I mean, they can survive teleportation. Why wouldn't they survive
So
acid?
I've heard.
Yeah.
But so I think one of the things that supports my idea that this movie's terrible is just the fact that when it first premiered in theaters, it was accompanied by something called Emergo in some theaters. And what Emergo is, I'm going to spoil it again for people, is that at one point a skeleton in the movie like flies down at these people. And we talked about it at the beginning. Or did we talk about it? Or was
just
that
for the
pre-show?
warm-up, I think.
Okay, so we talked in pre-show about how like there's a skeleton on a rope in the movie and he like swings down to people, but you're not supposed to see the rope. It's just supposed to be like, oh, spooky flying skeleton. So when that scene happened in theaters, they would actually swing a skeleton into the crowd, and it was called Emergo technology.
Sure.
But apparently people lost their shit from what I was reading. Like, this freaked people out, and they were like, oh, this is amazing.
Skeletons are serious,
If you
man.
were sitting in a movie theater watching a movie and a goddamn skeleton came flying out of nowhere, I think it'd mess you
It
up.
doesn't matter what
You know
movie
what?
you're watching. The new Pixar movie freaks you right out.
I wish they would have just thrown him at somebody, like, and just hit him.
Cool
in the
Runnings
face.
2.
Or better
You
yet,
just turn around, you date a skeleton.
oh shit. What if they would have, instead of the skeleton, I think they should have dropped a barrel of acid on the crowd. That would have been a lot
It should
more
have just been
impactful.
like Ecto Cooler.
That would have been pretty scary.
Ecto Cooler with pop rocks. in it,
Oh
so it's
man.
just-
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
that is Emergo vision.
Now that's
Emergo.
Yeah, people really like.
Can that be the episode title?
No,
That's
that's
Emergo.
Emergo.
I was actually gonna call it 13 Dead End Drive. We're all dead, but you're alive. I like that.
When the moon hits your eye like a skeleton's thigh, that's Emergo.
That's Moonjump.
Yeah, that movie is terrible.
Woo! The Vincent Price is right. So okay, we have been talking for a while, but we've run the gamut on a lot of good things. I know that there are a lot of haunted houses, and I know that there's a lot of aspects to it. And to be frank, we can't cover every haunted house ever. That'd be ridiculous. Expecting us to cover every single topic on a trope, that's oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. But I have to ask, and I feel entitled to, and I will. Any final thoughts? Any thoughts to make this Dunyan rings right now?
It's not really a haunted house, but I would definitely say if you're kind of interested in the trope and want something lighthearted and you haven't seen it, you need to watch Coraline.
Yes.
Oh, that's true.
Coraline, a girl goes into a land where things seem like everything that she wants, but not everything is as they seem.
What?
Another example I wanted to throw out real quick, a kind of a who does it kind of a little differently, is Beetlejuice.
Oh God, I love that movie
because it shows a haunted house from the ghost perspective, and it's a good fun time for everyone.
Yeah, I want to bring up one that I didn't get a chance to talk about too. I love Beetlejuice, but these two thoughts were not connected. Silent Hill 4 for me. I mean, I've said before how big of a Silent Hill fan I am. And Silent Hill 4 is the one where a guy gets trapped in his apartment, which the game wasn't great, but that concept of waking up one day and there are chains on your door and you can't get out and no one can hear you yell and your windows don't open is just so spooky to me. Just the idea is really great behind that game.
I think we've talked about it before actually on the podcast, where it's like the idea behind that one is different from the other ones because it's the idea of it being scary is that it's, you know, in your own house where you think you're the most comfortable, but you're not. I think so.
Yeah.
But yes,
Yep.
It's a good take. And Chris Moonjump, Olivia Moonjump, is that the Queen Regent right now?
Man, I wish.
Semi-canon.
That one out there, but
semi-canon.
yes. Unfortunately, it's no Mariah Carey, but
Nice.
I don't know. It's one of the things that I actually think it would be really interesting to kind of deal with some of the other mythologies for ghost stories and haunted houses and things like that. I mean, kind of, because most of what we see are effectively Japanese horror or kind of American or traditional Western horror. But I would be curious to see what kind of ghost lore exists for the rest of the world. Because, I mean, I assume there are ghost stories for everywhere. I mean, even the Germans have it with the poltergeist, where it's there were actually different flavors of German ghosts.
Ooh. Boysenberry.
Yeah.
like Wiener Schnitzel?
Yeah. Dude, they love the schnitzel.
And pretzels. Number 3, always.
Only a number 3 pencil. I said it. I messed up
and corrected myself. Darn it.
But yeah, I just think that would be one of the things that if you're looking to explore, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head that really delves into outside of kind of the Western and Asian perspectives on ghost stories.
Yeah.
Well, you've got, I mean, Chinese ghost stories are Chinese ghosts are so different from American ghosts in that, they hop up and down. I don't. That's the most I know
from
about Chinese
Spelunky?
ghosts.
Is that like your?
Well, the ghosts in Spelunky are based on Chinese ghosts, which they're called hopping ghosts. Yeah. So what they do, that's how they transport themselves to places, is they jump. But they have an entirely different. God, I'm so bad in talking about this because the most I know about Chinese ghosts is from goddamn Darkstalkers.
Yes, Darkstalkers. I know that particular character.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about this anymore because I don't know enough about it to actually make a film. That's all right. When we do our Blair Witch Project, I'll know more about
Okay.
Ghosts.
Scare Witch Project. Because my 2 cents about it is just like the Mexican culture, and their like kind of view on death and like
Oh, yeah.
party skeletons and like the dead are awesome and they'll high five you and like you leave offerings.
Go watch
Yeah,
LT Gray.
or there's the new movie coming out, The Book of Life. It's gonna
God,
be
I
really
can't
cool.
wait. I love
Yeah,
Jorge.
that looks really cool.
Jorge Rodriguez.
Isn't it from the same like art director as LT Gray? Basically, I mean, it just looks like 3D
Yeah,
models
it's
of the characters.
I want to say or Jorge
Okay.
Gutierrez, I think. Yeah,
But yeah,
I love his work. Super Macho is his animation studio,
it's a.
and he had a short like he did El Tigre, and then he had a couple of like
Yeah.
shorts he worked on that
Carmen
never
got
got picked
expelled.
up.
Yeah.
He ended up working. Yeah, I love Carmen Got Expelled, but then he worked on Mad.
Ugh.
So, but yeah, now he's doing the
Mhm.
Day of the Dead kind of movie.
Which is a fun take, and I guess I don't know. It's kind of cool to like see more versions of that, like you said, Mr. Moonjump. Let's see, what else did I had? I had the Amityville Horror was something that I think I want to talk about. There's a lot of incarnations of the Amityville Horror because, well, it's one of the more popular. This house actually exists. I believe it's in New Jersey. And there have been, I want to say at least 5 movies about it. The only one that I have personally viewed is the one that has movie killer Ryan Reynolds in it.
I've seen the original, the first one.
Yeah,
it was pretty interesting.
It's because it deals with like the sort of Native American, almost Indian burial ground, and like the wrath of a twisted man, and having like the evil spirit inside of the house, and
like the door to hell,
the dad
in your
going
basement.
crazy, like all of those tropes that sort of happen in it. I mean, it's a good starting point, and there's a lot of different interpretations on it, but just I don't know, if you're interested in like sort of the haunted house setting for like your writings or anything like that, look into the Amityville Horror, because that's a big one. We've already talked about the Winchester Mansion. We've talked about The Others on a previous podcast. That particular movie I think is a very interesting take on this trope, where it's more from the the viewpoint of the ghost, and that's the twist. Sorry if you haven't listened to that one, but check it out. And
The Others is really just a downplayed version of Beetlejuice.
Hey there, how you doing?
I'm actually surprised we didn't talk about the only one of the only good pieces of M. Night Shyamalan work,
Signs.
which would have been no.
Yes.
Yes.
The Happening.
But no, I was gonna go with The Sixth Sense.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Because
Well,
that's one that again deals with kind of that unreliable narration
Yeah.
and things that you could actually do some very interesting.
there's a
things
couple
with.
of haunted houses in there too. I would count that. Yeah. There's that one scene where they go into like the attic and it's like the shaking of the door. That always kind of like messed me up. I saw that before I was integrated into like horror culture, so it kind of stuck with me for a bit. Like the scratches on the body. I don't know. Anyway, I have a whole bunch more examples, but there's just a lot of good stuff out there, and I just recommend it. We obviously can't get into all of it, but Anna is.
We can, and we are expected to.
Very much expected to, and I will disappoint you all. So, with that, thank you for listening to the Utropeia podcast kit for this week. This has been the settings episode. Next week, we are going to have a guest, actually, because we're going to be talking about a particular archetype. It's kind of going off of where I usually pull my archetypes from, but you know what? We just have to do it. It's the villain archetype. So any villains that you might be thinking of, or any just antagonists in general, bring them out. And we're going to have a special guest, and that is Chase, aka Thinking Quite Loudly, fan of the show and a good friend of ours. But yeah, we look forward to talking about tropes with you guys next week. I have been Ken, aka Pumpken, and I'm signing off for Anna Cranberry from the haunting, terrifying realms of the never-ending nightmare that is going to sleep. Oh, hello. Good night. And also, as always, Saker, aka Dimmsdale.
That's me.
Todd Ogredose.
Boo.
Bill, MrYu video.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the final haunting from the full moon, Chris Moonjump.
Woo!
Jump.
Moonjump. You know what? Thanks again. Trope, you found what you're looking for, and until we talk geek next week. Bye-bye.
Boo.
Bye.